heard bang, bang, bang.
Witnesses responding to a shocking scene in Dayton. One man is recovering and officials are investigating after police shoot a naked man they say was armed with a sword. Now here's where this all went down this evening. Police were called to this area, Sermon Avenue. That's near Smithville Road.
The shooting raises questions as to what exactly took place. Clara Faith is live for us tonight outside of Dayton Police headquarters after hearing from police and witnesses. And Clara, you know, what exactly happened leading up to the shooting?
Police responded to a call around 5 o'clock for a weapon complaint. When police officers arrived, they found a naked man with a sword. Now, Dayton police officer asked the naked man to put down the sword, but he didn't. Police say the man then charged at the two officers, which led to the shooting.
There were two officers here on the scene and both discharged their firearms. Soon thereafter, a third officer got on the scene, saw the injury and put tourniquets on him.
Not every Wednesday that a naked man with a sword charges anyone in the neighborhoods.
Now the latest information from police came from their Facebook post, which say that the man is in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now the Montgomery County Sheriff Office is conducting an investigation, also along with the Dayton Police Department conducting their own internal investigation. We'll keep you updated here on air and also online. Now back to you guys.
Claire, thanks. We'll continue to keep you updated again, both on air and online. You can check out the web version. We continue to update. That is at Dayton247now.com. And if you want the latest on any breaking news, you can follow our social media pages. You'll see it there first. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, TikTok, Dayton 24/7 Now. You can follow all of those to keep you up to date on anything happening around the area.
We're now hearing from the man injured in the shooting at the D-Max facility. Kelly Suber, this man right here, sitting next to his attorney, saying the manufacturing plant is to blame. Last Thursday, investigators say an employee shot and killed one man and then shot Suber in the foot. Mamie Boss spoke with Suber today and breaks down what his attorney is fighting for.
He's on crutches and was released from the hospital Friday morning, a couple of hours after the shooting here at the D-Max facility. Like so many others here that night, Suber says he's lucky to be alive. Investigators say a domestic dispute involving a female colleague led to the gunfire. Kelly Suber tells us moments before the shooting, the accused shooter walked up to the woman police say is at the center of this dispute and asked her to unblock him. Remember, she agreed to exclusively speak with me anonymously on Monday. She told me the same thing. Suber says when she went to the restroom, the accused shooter left and went and got a gun. He then came back and started firing, shooting him and killing another employee.
It was a scramble to get away. I just remember jumping over the line. As soon as I hit the ground, I just felt my foot burning. It was just chaotic.
Michael Wright, who represents Suber, and Jeffrey James Allen III, who died, saying the company didn't protect its employees, claiming security at the facility is non-existent, that the company knew the accused shooter had a gun and that it knew of the conflict among the parties prior to the shooting.
We plan to hold D-Max accountable and do everything in our power to make sure that they enact policies and procedures to make sure that this does not happen to another D-Max employee.
I did reach out to General Motors, who owns D-Max. In a statement, a spokesperson writes in part, GM does not permit firearms on GM property. The D-Max Moraine facility has security on site 24/7. It goes on to say, our thoughts and prayers go out to the victims' families and all others impacted by this incident. We have no further comment at this time. I did reach out to the company to ask who provides security. Is it a third party? But I did not hear back. Back to you.
The Milton Union custodian accused of rape appeared in the Miami County Common Pleas Court today. 59-year-old Jerry North had his bond reduced from $800,000 to $300,000. There's also a notice of co-counsel appearance. His attorney filed for another attorney to work with him in the case. North is accused of raping a student under the age of 10 on school grounds. Now, he was arrested May 3rd after being charged with 5 felonies. He's pled not guilty to all charges.
One of 2 escaped inmates is now behind bars tonight after escaping from a Lima prison. This man right here, James Lee, was caught this morning across state lines in Kentucky. He and convicted murderer Bradley Gillespie actually escaped on Monday. Officers initiated a traffic stop after a stolen car was suspected to have the 2 escapees inside. The car wrecked after a police pursuit. The two then ran and Lee was eventually arrested. However, Gillespie is still on the run tonight. Take a good look. This is Bradley Gillespie tonight. He is considered to be dangerous. He's white with blue eyes and brown or no hair, standing about 6 feet tall. Tips can be left on the tip line number listed on your screen with a $20,000 reward leading to his whereabouts. If you see him, you should call 911 immediately.
All right, to weather now. You might have noticed if you stepped outside, things are cooling off a little bit of wind as well. And tomorrow morning sounds like might be perhaps a shock to the system for some.
Yeah, it's not going to be very cold, but with the warm weather that we have been having, it's certainly going to feel a little bit different. You may need a sweater or a jacket as you head out the door. As of right now, we're hanging out in the 50s and 60s. We have 59 in Dayton, so we've dropped from the 80s earlier today. Sitting at a cool 54 up in Wapakoneta, 54 in Urbana as well. Got a little bit of a breeze too. As this cooler air is sliding in, we do have winds between about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Some gusts having up to about 25, even 30 miles per hour. That will be the trend this evening, but most of us sitting in colder, in fact 12 degrees colder right now in Dayton compared to this time yesterday, and we'll wake up to upper 40s for the kids heading out to the bus stop in the morning, upper 60s for the afternoon. So just a really nice day on the way. We're tracking some sunshine. I will have a look at the rest of the week's forecast because we do have another warm up on the way too.
Today marks 1 year since 19 children and 2 teachers were shot and killed at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. A lone gunman armed with an assault rifle made easy entry into the building. Investigators showed a massive failure of law enforcement to stop the massacre. Dozens of armed officers waited outside the classroom for more than an hour before killing the gunman. That's according to an investigation. Now, a vigil to commemorate the victims was held tonight. This anniversary, though, is re-sparking the demand for accountability of those responding officers. At least 7 officers who stalled even though they knew children were dying inside are still employed by the same agencies they worked for that day. The Texas Department of Public Safety investigated 6 officers for wrongdoing and cleared nearly all of them. 4 of them, nearly 200 officers who responded that day, were fired for making critical mistakes. 2 of them are still employed in law enforcement.
And the President and First Lady marking the anniversary and calling for more gun control in the states.
It's time to act. It's time to make our voices heard, not as Democrats or as Republicans, but as friends, as neighbors, as parents, as fellow Americans. And I'm being deadly earnest when I say that. And in each place, we hear the same message. Do something. For God's sake, please do something.
Now, the President renewed his call for an assault rifle ban and universal background checks. He wants safe storage required and to hold gun manufacturers liable for gun violence.
Virtually anyone can file for an order of protection, but that doesn't always mean you're protected. A recent case revolves around a man in Cincinnati being accused of violating a protection order 5 times, including earlier this month. Luke Jones takes a look at just how effective these orders really are.
John Klosterman will be in court again Thursday. It's the 5th time the same Cincinnati woman's accused him of violating a protection order. She previously claimed she saw him near her home, that he texted her, and most recently, prosecutors say he tried getting her employer's call log. Each time, the protection order appears to have been no match for his persistence.
It's just a piece of paper. Right, so an order not to be around, to be at your house, doesn't stop you from physically acting.
So far this year in Claremont County, longtime victims advocate Stephanie Shue says she's logged 59 protection order violations. She says in her experience, they're taken seriously.
We do see those people violate a couple different times, but they're not let to violate often. They're going to go to jail here.
But in Hamilton County, this man, now infamous for leading police on a chase into the Ohio River, was released on his own recognizance last year after violating a Kentucky protection order. Police say he went on to violate it again this year, leading to that chase. In Cincinnati, I'm Luke Jones.
Well, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is officially running for president. The 44-year-old Republican revealed that decision today in a Federal Election Commission filing. Now, he's stepping into a crowded Republican primary and is widely considered to be former President Donald Trump's chief GOP rival.
Well, DeSantis took to Twitter in a few different ways to announce his run in 2024. Now, one is the tweet you see right here behind me. The other was a live conversation with Twitter CEO Elon Musk on Twitter Spaces. And even with some technical difficulties throughout the live stream, he was able to get his point across for his goal this upcoming election.
There is no substitute for victory. We must end the culture of losing that has infected the Republican Party in recent years. The tired dogmas of the past are inadequate for a vibrant future. We must look forward, not backwards.
Now, beyond Trump, other Republican candidates include former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, who is a local gentleman here, and former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson. Former Vice President Mike Pence is expected to announce his candidacy in the coming weeks.
A floral arrangement was placed on Tina Turner's star on the Walk of Fame. This says the legendary singer died today after a long battle with intestinal cancer. Now, she was 83. Turner rose to fame in the 60s alongside her abusive husband. After splitting, Turner became one of the best-loved female rock singers in the 80s. Turner is known for her high-energy performances of hits like What's Love Got to Do With It and Proud Mary. She won 8 Grammys and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2021 as a solo artist, 30 years after being inducted with her former husband. Governor DeWine in the Miami Valley announcing a new campaign today. The goal of this round's Beat the Stigma campaign.
And the debt ceiling deadline just a little more than a week away. The latest on negotiations tonight.
Plus, I'll have a look at our forecast as we head into this weekend, how much warmer we're going to get. That's coming up. Here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Tonight, lawmakers are ramping up pressure on President Biden and Speaker McCarthy to hold the line in debt negotiations. Texas Representative Chip Roy sent a memo to his Republican colleagues today, urging them to not accept anything other than the conservative debt ceiling proposal the House passed last month. Meanwhile, members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus are calling on the president to bypass negotiations with the 14th Amendment. They say the cuts laid out in the Republican proposal only benefits the nation's rich.
And that's why we will support President Biden in following his constitutional duties to make sure the American bills continue to be paid. We will not let Speaker McCarthy burn the House to the ground and then try to get away with blaming the firefighters.
Just a few days after meeting with President Biden, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy came out swinging against Democrats and urged the president to not make any concessions to Republicans.
It's not my fault that the Democrats today have become so extreme, so far to the socialist wing, that they are now opposed to work requirements, that they are now opposed to saving $1 less than you spent the year before.
The Treasury expects it will run out of money to pay its bills on June 1st. And the White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is pushing back tonight on reports saying Biden's negotiators are being restricted by the White House. She insists they're, quote, absolutely empowered.
These are talented, extremely talented and experienced individuals who are now part of this negotiation team for the president on the budget, and the president trusts them and really believes that they can get the work done.
Experts warn a default would be devastating to the nation's economy, destroying jobs and businesses.
Well, a cold front is pushing through. If you step out the door right now, it's going to feel a whole lot different than where we were earlier into the day. Cooler air already making an entrance, and it's going to be a little chilly out there tonight. But the good thing is that this cool blast doesn't last for too long. So For tonight, we will eventually drop into the 40s, waking up to 40s across the board. So a little bit of a chill in the air. You may need a light sweater or a jacket as you head out the door. Back into the upper 60s, right around 70 degrees tomorrow. A little bit of a breeze. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds during the day on Thursday. Starting out even chillier on Friday. We wake up into the 40s again, but we warm up nicely. 70s, mid 70s even by our Friday afternoon. So it's looking really nice, and we get even warmer by the weekend. I'll have a look at that coming up.
And taking a live look tonight from our downtown Dayton area from our Eco Plumber Skycam as the city approved an expanded designated outdoor refreshment area, or DORA. This will allow adults to purchase alcoholic drinks and carry them outside within a specific area. And here's a look at the proposed expansion. There's currently a DORA surrounding the Oregon District, which was established in 2020. The east and west will span from Wilkinson Street to Kiowee Street. The southern border expands roughly to 6th Street and stopping at the Great Miami River to the north. The current DORA mainly covers the Oregon District. The proposal will now move on to the state level to be approved.
Governor DeWine stopping by the clubhouse at Goodwill Easter Seals, Miami Valley today to announce the next round of the Beat the Stigma. That's a PSA to reduce the stigma around mental health treatment.
What people who have a mental health problem need is not somebody to tell them, hey, shape up, or you're really doing okay. And, that doesn't help. And what does help is someone who will listen, someone who will be supportive, someone who will help them get the professional help that they need.
Now, DeWine says this campaign round is to help Ohioans get an understanding of the true reality of mental health issues and how they can help.
A new hospital is now open in Miamisburg. PAM Rehabilitation Hospital by Post-Acute Medical of Dayton cut the ribbon and is already accepting new patients. It's a joint venture partnership from PAM and Kettering Health for acute inpatient and rehabilitation services.
We've looked at Miamisburg for a long time based on our needs assessments and needs analysis. So we think we're going to do a great job providing for the community. It's a huge deal for us, not only just to open the hospital, but to forge the relationship with Kettering. We're really, really excited about the
new facility expects to add more than 200 jobs and further PAM's reach in the Dayton community.
Well, a pair of 4th grade students and 2 teachers at 5 Points Elementary in Springboro raising money for cancer patients and their families. 10-year-olds Hattie Gill and Aubrey Thompson, along with some special teachers, created H&A Designs. Haley and Aubrey make jewelry and accessories and sold them at their school dance to benefit Pink Ribbon Good. It's a nonprofit providing free support for breast and gynecological cancer patients and their families. It was a hit, and today they got to present their big check of $2,800.
We started making jewelry for Pink Ribbon Good, and we wanted to help the patients and their families.
To me, because we are helping so many people in the world.
For these young girls to want to give back and sacrifice of their time, not going on recess, all the things was so encouraging to see and really touched my heart because they were able to raise so much money for our clients in the Dayton community.
And Hattie and Aubrey, they're not done yet either. Even though they donated $2,800 today, the 2 girls plan to keep raising money through the summer and into 5th grade. Well, here's a live look from our Eco Plumber Skycam. Let's check in with Natalie now, who's out on the Watson Weather Patio. Natalie.
I will say I could probably use a little bit of a jacket out here. It's getting a little cooler, and then we have a little breeze out here that's making it feel just a tad cooler as well. But heading into our Thursday, we are going to see a chilly start, upper 60s, close to 70 by the afternoon. So really nice day, but compared to what we have been, may feel a little cool, especially in the morning. Mid 70s by Friday. By the weekend, we're tracking some 80s and not a whole lot of rain in the forecast either. We could use a bit of rain. We have seen less than 2 inches of rainfall for the month of May. That puts us over 1.5 inches behind for the month of May too. And again, not a whole lot of rain in our 7-day forecast. I'm going to have a look at that coming up here in just a bit.
A fan favorite Raider making his return to Wright State. What this could mean for the future of the basketball team. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Hello, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. The men's college basketball season is still a few months away, but Wright State is excited over the return of Tanner Holden. He played several seasons with the Raiders, transferred to Ohio State last year, and now remaining. Now, it has not yet been decided if he'll be able to play this coming season or the year after. The NCAA will make that call, but Holden is looking forward to being back in the Miami Valley.
Things change. Nothing's ever going to be the same. And I think, players change. So I think, the old guys that I played with, they're not going to be the same player, and that's a good thing because, they've developed, they've gotten a lot better. So, I think, and I'm excited for it, though.
We're happy to have him back, and, we're looking forward to his return to competition, but it has to be consistent with the NCAA rules, and so we'll work on that. But the main thing is just getting him back and getting him in the fold again.
And the Raiders are still finalizing their schedule for the upcoming season, but they will take a preseason trip to Italy in late July. Well, it's a busy weekend of sports at Wright State this week. One of the events taking place, the Horizon League Baseball Championship. The Raiders are once again the hosts as the #1 seed, so they had a bye from Wednesday's single elimination games. Their first game scheduled for 11 o'clock Thursday morning against Milwaukee. The Raiders entered the tournament having lost their last 2 games of the regular season at Youngstown State, but head coach Alex Sogard says the team is not phased. They remain focused on defending their conference title.
Anything can happen in the tournament, and in our league with 6 teams, everybody plays everybody twice. We know each other. Everybody knows everyone well. So it really comes down to who executes, who plays their best baseball.